All right. Well, if I'm honest, I'm a bit confused as to how this works. So just kind of figuring that out. First time ever using this. Didn't know this was a thing. I'll show you over here. You can you see it? Oh, you can see it. All right, there you go. This YouTube streaming studio thing that they have, pretty cool. Just didn't know that it existed. Had only really been using what's it called? OBS. Yeah, OBS there. But anyway, here we are. Welcome back to another live stream. I thought the last few had been really fun, and so we'll continue it. I got this one scheduled now, which I think is pretty cool, and I'll obviously try and learn more and more about how the streaming stuff works. Something else. What's the delay here? What's the delay here? All right, so it looks like it's still a few seconds, but I think that it is better than what it had been, because in the past it's been 30 seconds to a minute. And so I think this is a lot better. So, yeah, this is awesome. This is cool. And let's see concurrent users, chat rate, views. I guess there was one view there, chat rate, concurrent users. And then let's just go over. Kind of curious. Cool. All right, awesome. All right, so I've got this check this out, this really interesting problem that I've never seen before. We're not going to go and try and solve it today or right now because I think we'll just be sitting here all day. But check this out. If I'm in Chrome and I go to localhost, well, nothing's running on localhost 3000. But if I go to localhost 3001, which is right here what I've got this running on, it won't connect. And I looked it up, found some stuff, can't seem to figure it out. So that's a super fun one that I'm not very thrilled about. And in the meantime, at least all day for me thus far, we're going to use Safari, which is something I never thought I'd have to say, that I'm going to have to use Safari. Anyway, in this stream, we'll go for like another hour and a half, hopefully, I think. What I wanted to kind of look at and focus on here is, thank you, appreciate it, Aditya, welcome, and Praful. I hope I got one of those right. But welcome back. I remember you from last time too. So what I want to do is try and maybe make it so that we can create a recipe here. So we'll sign in with GitHub. This bit works, which, ooh, you know what? Let me just pull this over here. Since I'm not using Chrome, I guess this sign up, I actually need to do something about it. So hold that thought. Apparently that's not my password. That is an interesting one. Chrome has all of my passwords. So that's kind of a problem. Did that work? That did work. All right, great. Let's check the phone here. And one sec. All right, that worked. That's awesome. Very good. right, so we're in there now, and we still have that drop-down problem that we had last time, so that's not great. And then we're going to build our recipe form today, or at least do a little bit of work on it. So what I'd like to do is, let's go ahead and go to this create recipe, which is this form that I have right here. And what I'm kind of thinking, let's look at this design that I have to log. Oh my God. I hate having to restart my computer and quit Chrome. I hate having to do all of it, basically. That's what I'm saying. Let's look at, nope, not that one. We were just looking at that one. Let's look at this one here. And let's check out the add recipe page. So I think we're going to want a title field, obviously. Something for ingredients, which we'll just go into our database and just kind of add them manually. And then each step will have a step title, a step subtitle, and step details. So let's go take a look at how we can do that. So first things first, let's add an input. We're using pre-line, so we'll come over here, go down to forms, and we'll just add an input here. Let's just copy that. Just make this a class name. Likewise, input. This is complaining because it doesn't have the ending terminating slash. Keep forgetting that I'm using Safari now. So we've got that, but this is not going to be all right. Do that, and then let's I don't think that we need this either, actually. Create recipe. Let's bring this down. Container. What I think I want to do is have div here. I don't know if this is like the most perfect HTML in the world, but something I was actually thinking about. I'd like to also explore other technologies and kind of just like expand my horizons, like learn new things and stuff like that. And I was kind of thinking like maybe we could just live stream doing all that. Like there's some cool stuff out there. So, kind of a tangent from what we were doing, but there's some cool stuff out there like HTMX that I've heard of recently that maybe we could try. I don't really know anything about it, but I've heard it, and I've heard some, seemingly prominent YouTubers talk about it, so I thought maybe we could check that out at some point. Some sponsors here. I mean, JetBrains, GitHub, those are big companies. So maybe it's something interesting. There's other programming languages that can be used for the web on the back end. Maybe we could do. I have like 3 years of experience with Go. We could try playing around with Go and building stuff. I've also wanted to play around with and check out Rust. I've heard some pretty good stuff about that. Something else that I've heard good things about recently is actually Elixir. So that'd be kind of cool to check out. So yeah, I don't know. Just an idea that we can kind of maybe touch on or get to in the future sometime. But yeah. So this is going to have padding Y of like, is that an 8? Yeah, it was 8, let's say. And don't want there to be like any dark anything here. I think that goes off of your system. And I have like a dark mode on my system, so. But we want it to be bordered. Let's do that. I think you just add border actually. Yeah, there you go. And then I don't think we need any of these really. Yeah, cool. And then what did we have after this? We had the ingredients. So I don't have the ingredients right now. So let's go ahead and not do the ingredients. Let's instead do let's add a step. This will be kind of interesting. So there wasn't a subtitle, was there? Yeah, there was not. A step will be so we're going to make this a use client, and then we're going to have const steps set steps, and then we'll do use state. And a step will be from, oh, sorry, this is a list of steps. There you go. Let's review what a step is real quick, which we can do here. A step has a title, subtitle, details, an order, and the recipe that it gets connected to, right? Cool. That should be relatively easy-ish. Let's just fix that error right there. Let's real quick just add a button here and just say submit for right now, and we can make this type submit, and then we'll create an action, and this would be handle form submit. I don't know that we might actually be able to just kind of move that to being our what's it called, the action, the server action. But for right now, just do this here. And let's just take form data. So we'll come back to this. We'll come back to that. One thing I do need is we need the ability. Hold on, sorry. Let's get a button here. Yeah, let's do this one, this top one. And oops. Get rid of that stuff. Text white, blue, transparent. Yeah, cool. Yeah, okay. Now let's do div. Class name. do flex. Flex. Just justify and let's do margin top. We'll do margin top. And 10 doesn't work apparently. 12. Yeah, the other thing is we're gonna have here another button. And this is going to be, I want the soft one. Add step. But I want it to I guess we can deal with this later, but basically I'm gonna want this to be like full width. Recipe title. Okay. Now, let's see. What I think we want is we need a rich text editor. Apparently Draft.js, I remember using that, and apparently it's no longer really a thing. See, what's this one about? I don't want to pay for this, though. That's the problem. A cloud-hosted version of the open source editor you know and love. Oh, this is, but it's, is it open source otherwise, though? Is that this? What's the license? In version. Version what? Version 2 or later. I kind of just want to like know if I can use it or not. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to sit there looking at all of this. Everybody should be restricted. Jeez. 2 years. It hasn't been updated in 2 years. So what's the status of this? I remember using Quill 4 months ago. I mean, it's a bit better, I suppose. Is there code here? Is there an option to put code in? And if so, where might that option be located? I don't see code here. No. Yeah, I don't see code anywhere. You can do Google search from right in here. That's pretty cool. Oh. Never mind. I don't think that's actually what I thought it was. Okay. Well. Yeah, I don't think I can actually use this. Okay, how about this? Let's try tip tap. Okay. Developed by Facebook, Lexical is a text editing engine focused on reliability. Oh, hey, how's it going? What are we building today? Today we are building, we're working on my startup here. Let me just pin a chat real quick. Working on DevKafe, a cookbook, a social cookbook. That's what I'm going to call it. It is a social cookbook. But I'm going to spell it correctly. Hold on. Cookbook for devs. All right, let's do that. And then I'm going to pin this. Pin message. Cool. Yeah, so thanks for joining. We're working on DevKafe, which is a kind of like a little indie startup project that I just started working on like last week. And it's basically going to be a social cookbook for developers. And what that kind of means is like there are a lot of books out there or not websites, but like pages on documentation websites that are essentially like cookbooks for XYZ technology. Like for example, Flutter has one. It's quite popular. It's pretty extensive and it's pretty good. In fact, I used it a lot or referenced it a lot when I was working with Flutter. And basically that's kind of what gave me the idea that oftentimes there are different ways of doing the same thing. And it can also be very helpful to have step-by-step instructions that are laid out in a way that is purpose-built for that problem to provide step-by-step instructions. And so, and of course, then everyone and anyone can post their recipe and be a part of the cookbook and, say that they use whatever ingredients, i.e. technologies, that they use. So for example, here's actually one. Do I still have this? I do. So this is a code lab from Google, but maybe it'll be something kind of like this, where there's like different steps on the side, and then you have some content in each step. But then no, it wouldn't be like that. It's going to be no NPM usage or anything like that. It's going to be like an actual website, like DevKafe, but it's spelled with a K.com. And it would be something that, you'd sign up using your GitHub account, and then you'd be able to create a recipe kind of like what Google did here, integrate Firebase with a Next.js app. It'd kind of be like that. And you could have different steps on the side. You can assign whatever content you want to that step and kind of go from there. And you'd be able to share how you built something and compare it to how someone else maybe tackled the same or a similar problem. Or maybe just share something that you figured out that no one else has figured out that you think is interesting. And right now I'm looking for a rich text editor to use on the platform so that, thank you, I appreciate it. Yeah, so right now I'm just looking for a rich text editor that I can use on the create recipe form to basically make it easier or possible, actually not even easier, to make it possible to have, creating of a recipe or something like that. And I obviously want one that's free and open source core. Okay, well, this certainly looks interesting. Yeah, I want something that's free, open source, and you'd be surprised. It doesn't seem like that's something that's like super common. Maybe more so something that actually there have been good rich text editors in the past for React. But it looks like they are no longer supported. One that I used was called Quill.js. Actually, interesting. Why not integrate Sphinx so that people can embed it straight into the site? Let's look it up. Okay, I don't think this is what you meant. Sphinx, is it, what else should I add on to the search here? Is it Sphinx docs? Oh, okay. Create intelligent and beautiful documentation with ease. Author used by. What is this? Is this just a documentation platform? Or versatile documentation formats. Wait, oh, you know what would actually be kind of cool if maybe I can just could I just make like a Markdown editor for React? Can we just use like Markdown maybe? I mean, it makes it easy for anyone to create documentation. Oh, I see. I've never heard of it actually, but yeah, I mean, I'll leave the tab up here, and I'll definitely look into it. I think my like hypothesis is that it makes the most sense to just build something with just some sort of like create recipe form that like just some basic like React form that I kind of just create from scratch, just to kind of get it out there and people can use it. And then to kind of take feedback from the community, from users, and kind of like, so for example, like this, if it makes sense for Sphinx to be added, right? Like I'll keep the tab up there, and you know, we can revisit that. That's kind of my thought process right now. Is it like choppy? Like is it clear? I don't know how well the stream is, like how fluid the stream is. I feel like when I'm looking at my OBS software right now, it looks like it's not that clear, or not that it looks like it's dropping frames, I guess is or not a high frame rate, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It does say 60 frames per second. But anyway, yeah, I'll leave this up and I'll take a look. I appreciate it. React Markdown editor. No, your comments are fine. There is a lag, which is actually less this time than it was last time. I upped or reduced the latency, but it's just in my. Can you see this here? You cannot. Okay, so I'm using you maybe have heard of it. It's called OBS. It's like free streaming recording software, and it's the part where it's like recording and I can like see myself, like the stream, it just looks like it's kind of missing frames or something like that. I don't know. But this one seems to be legit, I think. This is a simple Markdown editor with a preview implemented in React.js and TypeScript. I feel like this would be great. If we don't really need a rich text editor. We kind of just want maybe like just Markdown, right? I think that would be cool. Can we use this? What's the, what's the license? That's MIT. Oh, that's great. That's really good. All right, let's maybe like just do a little bit more of a somewhat more exhaustive search before just like committing to that one. And this is why we do a more exhaustive search, because there's another option. 2 weeks ago, that's pretty good. I was just there. Whoops. NPN. What's our? That's just an image. That's so stupid. Clearly, I don't want to see an image. Markdown. Headings plugin. All right, let's see if there's another one somewhere. React Markdown. This seems to be a popular thing then, I guess. Three months ago. Also MIT, that's cool. 13,000 2 weeks ago. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that could be good. So we got, and it's also MIT, and then what is this one here? Let's see. 2.1 thousand 2 months ago, MIT as well. Let's see. So it's like a blog post, but every post will be a cookbook. Yeah, exactly. Um, I'm kind of calling it like every post would be a recipe of sorts. So the entire thing is a cookbook, and you post your recipe, it becomes a part of the cookbook, and you will be able to sort by ingredients, which are like different technologies. So let's say I have a recipe that's, you know, how to launch a Next.js site, but like hosting it myself. So you could have, hey, how's it going? Praffle, how's it going? So like, let's say in that was the recipe I wanted to create and publish. So, I would describe each step of how to actually go about, building my Next.js application for production, how to, set up the infrastructure, how to, go and get it onto the infrastructure, how to maybe manage it or something like that. And so, and you'd kind of walk through the steps of doing that. And then that Google Code Lab page that I was showing earlier, you would have, basically you would get something that looks like that showcases your recipe that is a part of the overarching cookbook platform. And then perhaps because let's say in that case, your ingredients or your tools are Next.js, maybe Docker, maybe EC2, I don't know, Nginx perhaps, Debian maybe, or Ubuntu, whatever you want. And those would be like your 5 ingredients, or whatever else you need to use to kind of get that to work. Postgres maybe you have to have in there somewhere as well. And you would kind of have those things would be like the tools or like the ingredients that are used in that recipe. And you'd be able to, if you wanted to, and go see like, hey, like what other recipes have people posted with Next.js? You could go and click on that, and you could go and see like a whole thing of Next.js stuff, right? And so on and so forth. So that's kind of the idea of how it might look. And in a previous video, if you're interested, I went through kind of just not so much designing, since I'm using something called Preline, which is a CSS framework or component framework library for Tailwind. It's right here, called Preline. But I went through and kind of wireframed each of the pages that I thought would be necessary for like the beginning of the website. And so right now we're just working on this add recipe thing before kind of styling other stuff or building other stuff. But that's a good question. Thank you. Appreciate it. So I think the only thing I don't know is like, how would you store Markdown? Like, can you just store it raw, like in a database and just like as a string? I don't think you would maybe want to do that. Like, I'm imagining you don't want to do that. But yeah, we shall see. So I want to know, like, what is the best? It probably doesn't matter all that much, right? Like, Markdown's Markdown. So we should probably be able to just kind of toss this in there. What is this? This is that React MD editor. This looks relatively fine. But then there's also this one here. This one has a lot more, including like some security stuff. I'm a fan of that, I'd say. And they do show how to use it. You just kind of toss your Markdown in there. And I guess it just updates this variable. Is that what it does? Let's try this one. LangChain has semantic chunking. You can store it in a vector database to get similarity search from something like Milvus or Chroma or Phase. That'd be cool. So in that example with the vector DB, that doesn't replace your main database though, correct? Like, you still want to store it perhaps in Postgres or something, right? And then you just kind of duplicate it into the vector database to be able to do your NLP on. Is that what you're describing? if I understand that correctly. Correct. Yeah, you can store it using Elasticsearch. Yeah. Okay. Oh, you can use Elasticsearch as a vector database? I didn't know that. I kind of thought, I know there's like specific specialty databases that have kind of come onto the market for vector DBs. And then I know that I think there's also a plugin for Postgres. But I've never heard of anyone using. Oh, really? Let's check that out. Hold on. Let's see. Elasticsearch vector. Is this what I want to be looking at? What is vector search? Vector search leverages MLP, machine learning, to capture the meaning and context of unstructured data, including text and images, transforming it into a numeric representation. Oh yeah, okay, fine. It's just they're just describing like what vectors are, and like why they're useful. Yeah, that's cool. Do you have experience with that? Like what? Okay, actually, let me rephrase that question. Do you have experience with using Elasticsearch specifically for a vector database? And why would I want to use that? Or why, forget about me, why would someone want to use that versus like using Postgres with vector data as a vector database, or some, isn't there like a, well, okay, that's a specific thing. I feel like there was a new startup or offering that I saw. Maybe it was from AWS that was like a specific tool for vector databases. Or it was like specifically built to be a vector database, I guess. How can vector database requirements? Oh, is it open search service to make it easy for you to perform interactive logging. Okay, so Postgres compatible. Yeah, okay. Neptune ML. Really? Neptune? Isn't Neptune... Oh, Milva. Oh. Let's see. For scale. Sorry, I had a phone call. Hold on, one sec. Okay, let's take a look. Start running those in seconds. Stop. Harvey. Insert data. Search. Yeah, it's cool. Plays nicely. Hey, Pate, check out the pinned comment that I have at the top there. Harvey, relax. Sorry, my phone started ringing, and then it's on vibrate, but it's, I guess, a loud vibration, and my dog heard it, and now he's thinks he's a guard dog, but he's like less than 20 pounds. So you can chunk a document, let's say 50 docs, chunk them, store it like you store it in a single document. Remove this, then when you make search query, it fetches the similar chunks. Oh. Yeah. All the best. Pate, thank you. I hope you stick around. I think we're having a good time. Based on your search criteria. So would it pull chunks that are possibly not from the same document though? Oh, right. Because you said 50 documents. So this is kind of, what would be like, I understand the searching for like similarities across, but like what would be, in terms of the cookbook and the recipe thing, what would be the reason for doing that? for having that be a part of it, right? Like what's the set of features that that's enabling? Ooh, that's not so that if I search for Next.js, then I get a specific amount of Next.js material in a cookbook. Oh, I see. I think it might be useful to show you the data model. So essentially, instead of having I think it could be useful perhaps like so okay, so first off I'll walk you through like the data model. I had this by the way in another video. But yeah, we can just walk through it real quick. So user, okay, we understand what that means. That's easy. And then a user to a recipe, got it. Users can collaborate on a recipe or maybe have like shared ownership over a recipe. That's why there's a role there. We have the recipe itself. Comes down to the step, many to many. Actually, that should be many to one. I think it is a many to one. Like I think when I actually did this, it's a many to one. Recipe ID, and then step. Yeah, this actually is not correct. We don't have this. Recipe to step. At least I don't think I have that. I shouldn't. Yeah, that doesn't actually exist. There is here a foreign key recipe ID. Do not want that. Okay, there you go. So yeah, okay, so then recipes can have multiple steps. And so really like it's all kind of the same cookbook, right? Like the entire platform, the entire website is like one big cookbook essentially. However, where I think what you're talking about could be a bit interesting is here where perhaps eventually, not perhaps, I actually had this as an idea, but I didn't model it yet. Collection, or let's just call this a cookbook. We can call this a cookbook. Or it's like a custom cookbook perhaps. I don't know if the table is actually called custom cookbook, but whatever. Is there a way to, there we go. Right, name, and then there's let's get rid of that. Here, we'll do this. There's a foreign key here. There's a foreign key here. This is, sorry, wait. Yeah. This is not a foreign key. This is user ID. That's so ugly. Can go here. And then we'll just do like recipe to cookbook. We'll get rid of this here and we'll say cookbook ID, recipe ID. So in this case, right, once there's a custom cookbook concept, then I think what you're talking about makes sense, where people can kind of create these like customized collections of recipes that they think are cool, maybe with, you know, almost like Spotify playlists or like Apple Music playlists, right? And then I think what you're talking about makes a lot of sense, where you can kind of search across the board and see like, well, which ones are similar. Like if I want Next.js, you know, you could get the most similar cookbook. Yeah, exactly. I'm going to leave this here, but I'm going to change the color somehow. Which, how do I actually do that? Oh, here we go. I'm going to make them blue because I'm not working on them yet, but I think that's cool. I think that makes sense to do eventually. Yeah, okay, let's go back to here, and I want to see if this can like actually work. I guess I want this. I don't know what remark plugin is, so I don't think we really need that, to be honest. Should that be a stateful, like a state variable? The value of the cookbook, essentially, or the value of the recipe. And then we'll do this here. All right, what does that give us? I think we have to refresh this. Just a wink. Wait, but I don't want to do that. I want you to actually be able to edit it though. Right? So how do we do that? Oh, I don't care if you double click it or not. I just like how they have here on the one side where I can do something and it shows up. Well, okay, it did not show up here on the left, so that's not great, but I want to be able to have this be edited and then it shows up on the other side. Well, I don't have to have like something like that where it's like a, you know, preview exactly, but I just want you to be able to edit the markdown, that's all, which it seems here you can't. And I was, based on this document here, I was kind of under the impression that just like adding this component would make that available, but it seems to not. Oh, this component renders Markdown. Oh, wait, does it? So is it just taking like any text field? Is that how this works? That might actually be what's happening here. Let's try that. Oh, wait. Let's do that. So how should we do this? Let's just try it real quick without changing any of the styling here. Let's just add a text area. And we'll just do border so we can see it a little bit. And then let's do on change set handle I don't know, write markdown or something like that. Yeah, okay. Let's do that. Let's do E. E is cool. Does that work? Element. Client components. Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. Now, let's do store the text area in a state and use, yeah, that's what I was just about to do, so perfect. You read my mind. Let's just say markdown. Actually, it should be for the, well, all right, let's just do this here just to like prove that it works. And then we'll have to move it into the steps array. Set markdown. Should just be a string there. Don't need that. We'll do that. And then here, oh, we already have markdown. Perfect. Set markdown. All right, moment of truth. It works. Let's see if we can get bold. That works. How do we do I thought you could just do this for markdown. Does that not work, or is that like a plugin that I need? Markdownguide.org. Cheat sheet. Yeah, I was right. I knew you could do it. Do I need a plugin to do an ordered list or an unordered list? It seems I do. That's kind of stupid. It does work though. That's pretty cool. That's kind of what we were going for, wasn't it? Plugins. Where would I find those? Is this the right one? Let's get rid of these two. Congrats on the prototype. Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it. Plugins. Let's see. Unified, specifically remark. Retype for HTML, which are tools transform plugins. Let's see, what does this do? Unified. Interface for parsing and inspecting syntax trees. I don't want to have to deal with a syntax tree. Do I need to do this? let's see. Try using just trim on the text to clear out new lines, maybe. Do you think that's the problem that I have? Here, you mean? Trim? Does that actually matter? New lines? Like, don't you kind of want that, don't you? Like, that's not going to make everything on one line, is it? Remark for Markdown. Is a Markdown processor powered by Unified JS Collective. Is MIT, right? Yeah. Sorry, just sticking out loud. No, you're good. No worries. I appreciate it. Remark is a tool that transforms Markdown with plugins. These plugins can inspect and change your markup. You can use Remark on the server, the client, Dino. I've been seeing more and more of Dino recently. That's cool. Compliant, common mark. Inspecting and changing content made easy. World's most popular Markdown parser. Maybe I need this. Let's give it a shot. How would I... Is there an installation here? Install. Oh. I don't want the CLI. I don't want to do that. Check this out. Yeah, what's up? Example is checking and formatting Markdown. Oh. Okay, I don't think I have to do that. Can we, presumably, I can just, well, they have a list here, somehow. I think this is what I want. The above playground lets you try out some common plugins and quickly preview which input leads to what output, but it is really recommended. All right, let's do that. Call that geek. Check out the comment that I have pinned. It's a... I should do like a shorter form video on what DevKafe is. Because I think we explained it quite well in this. And like oftentimes when you have some new product or app idea, you don't really explain it the best when you first start explaining it. You kind of need to explain it a bunch of times, and through repetition and trial and error, you figure out the best way to do it. And so I think we kind of came up with a really good way earlier in this stream. And I have a pretty long video on going through what it is, but it's like 40 minutes long or something like that. But essentially it's going to be a cookbook for developers, but like a social cookbook for developers. So anyone can kind of come in, post a recipe for how to do something. Oftentimes there's many different ways of accomplishing the same result. And we're going to kind of make that a social thing where anyone can kind of come and post their work and their idea of how to do something or solve a problem, or maybe do something that's never been done before. And then other people can kind of share it and benefit from it and maybe comment on it and stuff like that. And where it goes beyond that, I don't know. Time will tell. But I think at least, in the short term, that's what it'll be. All right. Now the question here is, I also don't think I need save, but whatever. Import React Markdown. Where'd you see that? Did you just come up with that, or did you see that somewhere? The link which I shared. I didn't see a link. Is there like did it get flagged or something by YouTube? How would I see that or something? Hey, also curious for it says there's like 2 people or either 2 or 5 people. I see 2 different numbers for currently watching people. I'm curious where you guys are from also. Oh, now there's 4 people or 5 people. I don't know which number is right. There's like, if you look here, it says concurrent viewers 5 and then concurrent viewers 4. So I'm not really sure which one it is. But also, yeah, I don't think there was a link there that got shared. Anyway, yeah, I'm curious where everyone's from, where you guys are from. Let's try installing this. I don't know. We can always uninstall it, right? See what happens. From India here? Nice. Where in India? India is pretty big. Bengaluru. I've heard of that. Let's see. It's like... Oh, it's like, okay, so it's South... Oh, wow. Okay, so it's South India. Nice. That's pretty cool. Oh, Bangalore. Oh. Of course I've heard of Bangalore. Bengaluru is like the... That's how you say it. Like the Hindi way to say it. And then Bangalore, is that English? Is that how it works? Oh. No, I'm sorry. Wait. Bengaluru is the... Wait, I'm confused. Largest city... Oh, I see both now. Bangalore. Is that just the whole area? Oh, they renamed it. Oh, interesting. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, if anyone else is still on, I'm curious where you guys are all from. It says 4 people, but I also see the number 2, so I don't know. There's 8.5 million people. That's a big city. Yeah, that's pretty big. wait. Uh, isn't Oh, maybe that would make sense. I don't know. It's weird. Like, there's two different numbers. There's one number that says two, and there's other number right now that says three. So I'm not sure. But isn't dosa is from South India, right? I think. Correct, you are. Yes, I love dosa. It's so good. Actually, but here, like, I'm in the U.S. and like it's I didn't my friend who's from India was telling me that dosa is like a street food there. And so it's like, it's very casual and like very cheap. But here it's like a trendy thing, so it's like very expensive and you have to go to maybe like higher end restaurants to have it. Actually, I've only seen one place in my city that has it. I'm sure there's others, but I've only come across one. Yeah, let's see. My guess is that we have to now have a plugin. Remark plugin. It's mostly like staple food. People have it for breakfast, evening when they're sick. And they're having. Oh, okay. Wait, so is dosa like dosa the like the pancake part, or plus like that's it and then you just put what you want on it, or is a specific dish called dosa like a specific, bread pancake ish thing, like it's kind of like a crepe, combined with like a specific set of toppings that is dosa, or is it just like dosa is really just a style, like anything with that flat pancake plus whatever toppings you want? I think it's the latter. No? Oh, okay, now I understand what you're saying. It's like just something you have whenever, like whenever you're sick or happy or whatever, because it's so versatile. Yeah, it's so good. Oh wait, maybe do we need both of these? Oh, that wasn't right. Oh man. Let's see, and then I think I installed these. I might not have though. So I didn't do the math one. I didn't do either of these. Oh, that's cool. Stringify. Stringify. Remark parse. And then we did this one here too. Rehive. So I think that'll be this. And then we'll get this one in there. I don't know actually if this is even going to change anything, to be honest, but let's just see what happens. It's just me in the chat. Yeah, it's hilarious. Yeah, that'll be that'll be interesting to see. Go back and look, but I think that's kind of part of the beauty. Like we're documenting a real like moment in time, hour and a half, almost. So I think that's kind of cool. Still did not work. There's got to be like some other plugins here that I'm missing from this thing. So I think that's really kind of the challenge right now, is just to figure out Which plugins, or can we, oh my god, Sadie, relax. Can you guys see my dog here? Maybe a little bit. There she is. Coming in to check out and say hi. Ooh. Let's see that demo again here. Use. Do they? Man, that's. Markdown. Let's try that. I just want to, and the reason I want to try this is because I just want to see the plugin system working. Whoops. That's still the wrong one. This is what I wanted here. Okay, let's give this a shot here. I don't actually know if I have to reinstall that, or restart that. All right. Oh, it looks different. I see code. Random JavaScript code. That wasn't actually what I wanted. Randomization JavaScript. I just want like a random block of code. We'll go with this. Cool. Well, it didn't highlight it, but the code definitely works. I don't know why it didn't highlight it. That is a fun one. I must be doing something wrong now. Just reorder these a little bit here. Oh, wait. We still have trim? Did that do anything, maybe? It did not. Okay. I know one. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. It's kind of interesting. This will be fun to play around with, though, I think. Here's an example of a plugin to highlight code. Pretty neat, eh? You can use a plugin. It adds support for GitHub specific extensions like language, tables, strike through, task list. Can you try sending the children inside a prop instead of just in text? Yeah, sure. Is that was from your previous example? Oops. And then, oh, you do it as a, do I need that component prop on here? Components, code. What was this here? That's not what I wanted. Oh, that's so annoying. What is this? I don't know what this line here is supposed to do. I don't think you need that. Okay. I don't think it really worked though. Let's try and refresh. Maybe that helps us out in some way. I should probably put it in a code block too, shouldn't I? Nah. Oh, wait. Did I? I did. Yeah, I did add that. Okay. Is there something that I'm missing with the plugins? Perhaps. Plugins. Shows common mark, which standardizes the difference between Markdown implementations by default. We use micromark under the hood for our parsing, which see its documentation for more information on Markdown common mark. Okay. Template string. Okay. Ooh. Let's see. Like that, you mean? Oh, wait, hold on a second. Well, it's interesting because this actually was. This did use a template string. Does it have to be here? Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Remove the children from. You mean like go back to what I had? Like that? Maybe. No, there doesn't seem to be a difference. But here, somewhere, for their plugins here, they seem to be able to do it with just, what's it called? Whatever, I can't think of it. They seem to be able to do it not using their children prop here. Just sending in, right? Though to your point, they do it with, they toss in ticks there, like on the template string. So I think that's kind of interesting. Where do I find that here? That's not this. Is there a link to their npm JS site here somewhere? Mac Markdown. Here we go. Isn't this just a README? Oh, it's not. It looks different. That's interesting. So how does this components thing work? Is that part of what's happening here? All right. I think I'm gonna have to tackle this later. Cause I have to jump off now. But thank you for joining. I definitely appreciate it. We're gonna do this. The goal that I have is to do these streams Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And so with that, hopefully I'll see you around on Wednesday. Appreciate it. Appreciate you joining, and I hope you have a great rest of your day or night or whatever. All right. That's one of my dogs. There you go. All right. See ya. Take care.